there's the two sample cards that I made. And this is called the split negative. And I learned something with this one. I learned that you need to use some kind of stamping tool. I have the MISTI, so that you get your images lined up perfectly. Now mine are off a little, but you don't really notice it. I mean, you can see it's off there all the way down, but not many people would notice that. And then this one is off slightly all the way down, but it's not, I don't think it's noticeable that much on this, but I'm going to make sure that the next two match up better. But basically what I did was I stamped both images, one in Night of Navy and one in gold with gold embossing. And you go from there. I used the stitched rectangles for my background on this. I wanted a really classy card with this. This would make a gorgeous birthday card. But I did some embossing for the background on the next two. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to move those out of the way. And I'm bringing in my MISTI because that's the one I have. This is the mini. And I have two regular size MISTIs. So it's like, oh, yeah. All right, now I decided for this one, and I'm missing a piece of paper. Where did it go? All right, I decided for this one, I'm going to use the poppies. All right, so both of these are 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. And I'm going to stamp my white one first. And I am using Poppy Parade. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to then line up. I got to get my ink. I forgot to grab it. All right, I grabbed it on the other one. All right, so there's my Poppy Parade ink. I'm going to line this up on here. I find it easier if you have yourself a larger square than or rectangle, whatever it is, than you need, because then you can take and cut it down if you need to. So I'm going to add my, oops, I can't do that one. I'm going to add this one up here because it's, boy, that thing is heavy. All right, I'm going to move this one over here. All right, so I'm going to put this over like so. And I've got this all lined up. I'm going to take my Poppy Parade, and I got to move this up. Oh, it fell. I didn't have it tight enough. Sorry, guys. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. All right. Opening up my... I haven't used this one in a while. It's hard to open. And I'm going to ink this stamp up with my Poppy Parade. All right. And I'm going to stamp that on here like so. Where's my towel? Oops. All right. So now I've got a good image there. Move these out of the way. And I'm going to put in my red one. It's actually Poppy Parade. Add that. Now, I want to make sure this is clean. So I'm going to use my cloth to wipe it off, because I am using my Whisper White pad. Oh, trying to do it like the old one. And I'm going to ink this up. This is when the mini cubes would be good. Like so. And then I'm going to, oops, I want to hit that with my embossing buddy, because if I don't, I'll get stray flecks and then it'll show up on here and I would not be happy. All right. That is in the way just slightly. All right, so I've got that there. I'm going to press it down. Got a nice image. And I have my heat tool set up back here. All right. So I'm going to take that out. And it's crooked, so I may need to straighten it afterwards. That's another reason why you give yourself a bigger piece than you need. All right, let me make sure I've got all of it covered. All right, I move this out of the way, and I'm going to heat set this. I'm going to take this stamp off, and I have a big block over here I'm going to put it on, because that way I can take and clean it when we're done. Now I'm going to pull in my little trimmer. All right, now this is 2.5. That's off just slightly. Is this one 2.5? Huh, they're both off. And I use my other trimmer, so interesting. All right, if it's 2 1/4 rather, I need to cut it in half at 1 1/8. And I gotta pick this up to see. There's my 1/4. So there's my 1 1/8. That line right there. So I'm gonna cut it like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I just got to find my 1/8 inch mark. There it is. I'm going to cut that one in half. So I've cut this one in half side to side. Then you take the bottom of one and the top of the other and match it up. And that's the one thing I forgot. You have to have, I got to cut some more paper. You have to have a piece of paper the same size as this, and reason being is you're going to glue it down, and it's easier if you have it. Thanks, Jenny, no problem. So this piece then goes on here like so. So I'll put the two pieces together so you can see what it looks like. But I'm going to only make one card because the cards can be the exact same thing. All right, so this goes on the top. Oops, got to put it on the right way or it's not going to match up. And you want to match up your sides. And this is when, if it's not perfectly even, you can take and, let me see, I'm looking at the flowers. There we go. All right, so there's that. But if it's, see how it's off here? I'll trim this down. I'm going to let this one sit, put this one together, and then I'll go back to that one. That way I can, it has some a chance to really grab before I go cutting on it. All right, so here's my top on this one. It's just easier if you have a piece that's the same size as what you started with, because then you can take and just glue it down. All right, so there's that one. Now I'm going to go back to this one. I'm going to pull in my trimmer and trim this up. My goodness, I cannot believe it was crooked. So I'm going to use, I'm going to cut this one down, and I'm, to get it straight, well, that's not straight. Oh, well. I wonder what I did wrong. Let's try this one. I'm putting, this is going to do the same thing. All right, I'm not going to fool with it. I'm going to leave it because I don't know why. If I cut it, if I line this up with this, it comes out crooked, and it shouldn't. See, if I do that, I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute, maybe it's not. Hold on. Let me go back to this one. Then if I do this, let me just finish it all the way through, and maybe it's not crooked. Maybe it's just my eye that thinks it's crooked because my other edges are crooked. Well, I gotta fudge this one a little bit. All right. Well, it's crooked that way. All right. So I don't know why it did that. I thought I had my block on there even. Let's go back to the original one. That one's straight. All right. So what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to add this. I took a piece of Whisper White that's 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm going to add this. I'm going to do it this way. Add this on here, and I'm going to use dimensionals, and I brought over a brand new package, so to speak, to give it some interest. Put that one down there. All right. Today is probably going to be one of those days, since I am struggling with this card. But as you can see, everybody struggles no matter how many years you've been stamping. All right, I take my backs off. I mean, I have over 20 years of stamping behind me, and today's going to be one of those days. But that's okay. Come on. This is the pokey tool that the tip is bent on it. All right, so I've got all my pieces off, and I'm going to add this to my card base. See, that's definitely on there crooked. Oh, well, I don't know why. And just so you know, ladies, white baker's twine is coming back. I am so excited. I miss my baker's twine. It's in the Occasions catalog, so I'm hoping that means it's going to be in the, it'll carry over into the annual catalog. All right, now I'm going to add a bow to this. So I'm going to use my baker's twine to tie a bow on this, and hopefully I can get it on here good and tight. But if not, I'll show you how to fix it. And I didn't, so I'm going to show you how to fix it. All right. There's my bow. All right, pull my pieces down. All right, move that back over there till I need it again. And since this is not straight, or not tight, and I want it to be tight so it doesn't move, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it to the back, and I'm going to take my tear and tape, and since I have to add tear and tape to it anyway, I'm going to pull it tight here and add my strip. And I'm going to do the same thing here. All right. And when I get to this side, I'm only going to go part way, because what I want to do is I want to make sure this is in the right spot. There we go. And then I can just hold it and finish putting it down. There we go. And see, it doesn't matter that I have all this excess on the back because nobody's going to see it. So that's a way to tighten up your ribbon. Twine